Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hello.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. Get all the good, behind-the-scenes, early access, uncensored, super cool stuff, critical misses, We Roguelike It, all the stuff. You can get all that, $5 a month, not per episode, just per month, super cheap. You can help me pay for the show and help us get to the scare the poops out of me tier of $250 a month, and I'll start playing some serious games. Heaven help my soul. We also do have a brand new piece of merch this week. Moonpier over there designed a very fun new shirt based on what episode number was that? 654, 650. Depression of My Own Making, I know is the name of that episode. And Moonpier made a rainbow themed shirt, has a beautiful rainbow, and says, "I'll never amount to anything.
I'll never be anything special. Thank you very much.
I'll never be anything special." Thank you. I should have had Moonpier talk about this since it's his creation. You can check it out on our merch store on the right-hand side of the page, tvgp.tv. You get that on a whole bunch of different shirts on a whole bunch of different colors and stickers and a pillow. Because I wanted to put the pillow option there because it turned out really well on a pillow, which I'll probably never sell any of those. And the margins are not great, but it's really good.
That's the most important thing.
It's there if you want to have a positive / not positive message on your couch. Or under your head, wherever. I'm not going to judge. So check that out. That and all the other pieces of merch are along there with the Bloom North 2020, which I'll be pulling down later this year for sort of obvious reasons. The We Know shirt, the logo shirt, and then now Moonpier shirt. Try and keep, we probably haven't talked about this for a while. Try and keep prices down on that. Not really looking to make money. I'm not like making $15 a shirt or anything. I mostly just want to get some merch out to you guys. So go check that out. tvgp.tv. It's on the right hand side of the page. I don't have a special URL for that yet, but I'll buy one at some point.
And it's episode 646, by the way.
646. So go check that out. And let's start with Moonpier. What have you been playing this week? Your huge, giant list, the monster list, your top 10.
Yes. List off some of your JRPG titles.
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
So we'll actually talk about, I'll talk about two games.
Oh.
Number one, first and foremost, and primary, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulder.
Okay.
Because I quit MSF.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't know the abbreviations, MSF is Marvel Strike Force. Which is the game I replaced my Star Wars Battlegrounds? Nope.
Something like that. Star Wars
Galaxy of Heroes Addiction.
Yeah,
I was going to say Force Field, but that's not it either.
No. I replaced that addiction with the MSF addiction.
Right.
But recently, a couple of my compatriots we've all been feeling the grind, so to say.
You guys have been playing that for a while.
Like 3 years straight.
Yes.
Every day logged in for 3 years.
I was going to say, like, straight doesn't mean like once a week. Straight means at least once a day, every day.
Uh-huh. And it's now at the point where it's hit that mobile game marketplace where here is a bunch of new characters. To get these new characters, you need the last new characters who were all... But you need them all to be 5-star, and the only way you're going to do that is by spending money on the original character release to get the new characters, and then the new set of characters that come after that, you'll need to get the current new characters to at least 5 to 6 star to get the next set of new characters.
So, like, immediately you're grinding super hard forever.
Yes, basically. It's like every single thing you do is... Don't get me wrong, it's all progress, but it's all, especially for me who literally didn't pay a penny on the game, really. Like, I think I put $10 into it once,
Sure.
but I was just like, that'll do me. I'm like, I'm not coming home from work and while I'm trying to make my food, get stuff prepped, do chores, and at the same time doing blitzes and raids and challenges and not paying attention to what I'm doing, just sticking it on auto battle and hitting the play button. I'm good. If it give me a simulate button where it's just like simulate this fight, simulate this fight, simulate this fight,
Simulate my week.
for everything, I would be fine.
Right.
But the fact that I have to load it up, do that, do all that stuff, and I can only use it on my tablet, which struggles, and my phone, which struggles much worse with the game.
Right.
So I'm just gonna back out quietly, fade into
Leave
the
on a
night.
high note.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I had my fun with it. I met some great people along the way. But yeah, I think I might be done with it because it's like wake in the morning, do your stuff, lunchtime, do your stuff, get home from work, talk to my wife, do my stuff while doing chores, before I go to bed, do the stuff, and it's just like, no, I'm okay. I've got 360 Xbox games installed there. I don't need to spend my whole time tapping away on my mobile screens.
Right.
Plus, I've got audiobooks to listen to and TV shows to watch and movies to enjoy.
That's right.
Like
And
I've got
other games for other podcasts.
Yeah, not to mention I literally played 2 or 3 games a week for this show, not included talking about it here. Go check out Game Club, go check out We Roguelike It, go check out all the other things we play /do.
I like it.
Yes. So yes, I have tossed off the MSF monkey, phrasing, and I am uninstalling it tonight when we're done with the show. Everything's just going to get uninstalled so the temptation doesn't come back to me. And the only other game I played is Spiritfarer.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, I finished Spiritfarer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Really hard to talk about this game without spoiling it.
Yeah.
I don't shrug, Nimp. I know you've probably beat it too, but the people who listen might not have.
I am exactly where I was when we talked about it last week.
It's been a rough week for everyone. I call it 3/3 of TVGP. I was fairly happy with how that whole thing, how the whole game resolved. Are you? How do you feel about the resolution?
Are we talking game as a whole, or are we talking top 10 discussions right now kind of thing?
Well, not top 10, but just like my biggest concern about Spiritfarer was you have so many big emotional points in this game. When you say goodbye to people, when you get big storyline hits, I was really worried that the ending was just going to be like, all right, peace. There wasn't going to be any resolution to it. But I was really happy that you had to go do something that like put a cap on that game. And I don't think it was the most emotional part of the game, but I was really happy that there was a clear ending and a clear resolution to that storyline, and I think it did it really well.
Yeah, that was pretty okay. Like Stella's storyline is pretty great, and the resolution to the game as a whole is okay. Especially like the fact that you can go back in and just continue where you left off. I think Snooty Dog should have been somewhere in the middle. Shouldn't be the last spirit you get. Biggest mistake was giving Snooty Dog last.
So I got her in the middle.
Okay, I didn't. I got her last.
That's rough. I got Beck last. And that was kind of a lot of fun because Beck's just like, yeah, man, let's have fun. Dungeons & Dragons, let's go. Yeah, junk food. And Snooty Dog is like, I would prefer if you didn't speak to me or looked at me. That would be fantastic. It's like,
no eye contact, no nothing, no, not, like just stay away from me kind of thing. It's like, I think she should be like the second spirit you get.
Yeah, I feel like after a tool, like who's very friendly and gregarious and that, it would have been kind of a nice change to have this person who's like, we are here to do a job. I need you to do it, and we're not going to be friends no matter what. Yeah, like I did not like. Obviously, you're not meant to like her. That's kind of the whole point. But that's Just like Giovanni, where it's like, you're just not a good... Like, Snooty Dog wasn't as bad of a person as Giovanni is, but it's sort of like...
I disagree. I think Snooty Dog was a worse person than Giovanni. Because Giovanni, he's a womanizer and he has a lot of issues.
A cheater.
Also very, very, very bad PTSD. Like if you talk to him, he had some very nasty experiences. Whereas Snooty Dog's just like, this one kid in my class struggled and I laughed. And she's like,
oh God, that's right. I forgot about. Yeah, she's bad. She's a bad person.
She is so much worse than Giovanni.
If only you stupid idiots would listen, I could teach you. And it's like,
yeah. I'm not excusing Giovanni. I'm just saying he has a reason for being the way he is. Whereas Snooty Dog Lady is just a Karen all the way down. Like, just terrible person.
It's like a Pink Floyd villain. Like, it's so bad. Yeah.
So I was a bit disappointed that she was my last goodbye.
That's rough. Yeah.
I kind of would have wished Giovanni or
Astrid,
yeah. Astrid's is a tough one.
Astrid's was a tough one, yeah. Pretty much anybody else. Like, do you think that her being last had a negative impact on your overall enjoyment of the game?
I wouldn't say so. It bothered me a little bit because I literally did her and then did Stella's last mission.
Right.
So it was one of those things where it's just like, I just want you off my boat. You tall, lanky-necked, stupid dog-looking thing.
Stupid snooty dog.
Yeah, just get off my boat now, please. And
thankfully she wasn't on there for very long.
No, she wasn't. And just to spite her, I totally upgraded everything in her house.
Oh, nice.
Also for the
Take that.
But yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much done with it now. I've got 2 more things left to do with it, which bothers me. I have the unsubscribe from Freedorama.
I don't even think I subscribed to it. I don't remember.
2 achievements, one for subscribing, one for unsubscribing.
Yeah.
And then there is the second option with Astrid. So I will have to start a new game.
Sure.
And literally just power through her missions specifically.
Full on speed run.
To try and number 1, get Giovanni, and then number 2, get that achievement so I can not tell her, then immediately save it, switch it off, and uninstall.
Yeah.
All told, positive experiences, generally speaking, all around. There are some minor issues I have with the game, but generally it's a solid game. And apparently I was listening to somebody else talk about this, the studio who makes it have made like 3 other games, and all of them have animations as thoroughly executed as this thing does.
Oh, wow, I didn't know.
So I'm tempted to go and check out some of their other games to see what their animation's like. So Spiritfarer, officially, at this point, if you haven't started, played it, or beat it yet, number 1, why not? But also number 2, it does officially receive my Game Pass award.
That's right.
So go give it a shot, play some Game Pass games. Spiritfarer is a really good one. Now I've got like 50 million other games to play before 2 months. I have 2 months.
Before November?
Yeah.
Oh, they made Jotun and Sundered. Wow, I had no idea. Okay. Yeah, Thunderless Games. Cool. That's a cool studio. Wow. I gotta play both of those. Yeah, Sundered is a hand-drawn Metroidvania, and Jotun is a like an action exploration Norse game.
Okay, so they actually do different kinds of games too.
Yeah. Interesting.
But yes, Jinx.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. One of 2020's most pleasant surprises, Spiritfarer.
Also pleasant games. Period.
Yeah. Yes.
So well worth your time. But like, go listen to the pre-show. I talked a lot about camping this week. There's a reason I literally have 1 game to talk about. Mr. Nim, tell me about your sweet JRPG titles.
Yeah. I also only played 1 game. Excuse me. But I have so many notes on this game that apparently my tablet memo has a certain character limit, and I exceeded that, so I had to open up another memo to finish writing my notes.
Okay.
So, the game I will be talking about this week is Bloodborne.
I was hoping that you were gonna I was hoping that your one game was gonna be Bloodborne because I'm enjoying following the adventures of this game.
The misadventures.
maybe that's more accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So, I completed the last boss. Went into the next area. And I don't remember the area names. I didn't write them down, and I'm not going to remember them off the top of my head. So people who have played this will know what I'm talking about. People who haven't, tough luck. Sorry. The next area that you go into, you randomly start getting the status invoked on you called Frenzy. Mm-hmm. Now, I haven't come across this stat that often. It's just like Poison or any other stat where all of a sudden this bar shows up in the middle of your screen and then it starts to fill, and once that bar is filled, you get that status. This status sucks horribly. I don't know at the time. I didn't know what caused it, and I didn't know what it was doing until the bar filled, and it almost one-shotted me.
Whoa.
So apparently what starts to happen is, as this status effect is being applied to you, you start seeing like these weird shadow spears that start like stabbing your character. And that doesn't immediately do damage, but as soon as that bar fills up, all of a sudden you take like a ton of damage, and depending on where your vitality stat is in this, it can either actually one-shot you, or like with me, who has a massive 6-inch long health bar, brings you almost all the way down to 1 HP.
Oh, jeez.
So this area, the effect, whatever was causing it, was pretty much the entire map. So you had to hide behind like these stone pillar kind of things. And I just gunned it through there. Like, didn't even explore, didn't even try to fight anything. I just ran.
Not even
everything.
worth it.
Yeah, not even worth it. There is an item that you can take called a sedative, which will negate the status of as it's building. It'll negate it. So, but because it was so strong in that area, as soon as you took a sedative, it would bring the bar back down to 0, but then it would already start to recharge.
Oh, jeez.
And even if you break line of sight of whatever the thing was that was causing this, your bar is still filling.
Oh, jeez.
So that's why I did not explore that area at all.
Yeah, man.
So as I'm running through this area, there's like 2 areas. The first area is the one that has the frenzy stat. The next area has like all these weird knights and spiders and stuff. I just booked it through all of them. The next area didn't have the frenzy issue, so I could have explored it. But at this point, I was already kind of not happy about the frenzy and just wanted to find the next lantern. That way I didn't have to go back to that area if I did die.
Oh, right.
So I did the dumb thing of just rushing through everything, which I did not die. But it's a dumb idea to do that in any Souls game. So.
Right. I'm just going to keep running. Whoa, no.
Yeah, until you turn around and you see a whole train of enemies coming at you. Right. So I did find the next lantern. After I found that, I explored a little bit more, and then I found the next boss, which was Mikolash. I've heard it pronounced both ways from different people. Whatever. Basically, it's this humanoid character that has this massive, I'm not kidding, like 4-foot tall, like iron grid helmet on his head.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, look up pictures, Moon. You'll see it's stupid crazy.
I'll put a picture here on stream in a second.
So this boss fight is actually a stupid easy boss fight, but it is stupidly annoying in that the boss arena is a maze. So when you run close to the... Go ahead.
Sorry, he's the one with the cage on the top of his head.
Yeah. Like the 4-foot tall, hit your head on everything cage.
Yeah.
Which you get for beating this boss.
Fun.
So when you run close to him, he will run away from you in the opposite direction. And this maze-like dungeon is set up in a grid, so you basically have to have him run in a certain direction, then double back, have him run in another direction, and then you can box him into an area. If you screw this up, he will either continue to run around in a loop of this maze, or you do end up cornering him in a dead end, but at all of these dead ends, there's a mirror, and he will jump through those mirrors, and he will warp to another section of the maze, and then you have to try to find him, and then you have to start it all over again.
Wall hacks. Come on.
Yeah.
During this point, though, in this maze, he is not really bringing to life, but there's like these puppet dolls that will pop up and attack you.
No, thank you.
They're not hard to avoid, and they're not hard to take down either. They're just kind of a slight annoyance that are there to keep you moving. So, my first time, I managed to accidentally figure out the first time how to get him into this little area that cages him in. That way I could fight him. Get in there, he summons 2 of the puppets. I kill both the puppets. I take him down to half health.
Does that make you the master of puppets?
It does make me the puppet master. So I take care of them. I get him down to half health. He drops down to a knee, and then he disappears. But his health bar is still there. So I run back out of this room and see that all of a sudden this whole other area has opened up.
Oh, God.
Okay. Run up these stairs, and it brings you into another maze area that you have to try.
Babies.
Yeah. So the first maze area, there was a little bit of elevation, but it wasn't a whole lot. There was basically one section that was up high and the rest of it was flat. So it's like, okay, and it was basically like a cube, so you can kind of run them around to where you need them to go. This one's got like 2 or 3 separate elevations, a couple drop-offs, and
Jeez.
Yeah. So like I said, this boss was more annoying than it was difficult.
Right.
So I finally figured out how to get him into the new boxed-in area that I needed him to be in. He runs in there, and a cage drops behind him. All right, cool. I think I found earlier when I was running around where I can drop into this area so that way I can fight him. As I'm running around this corner, the camera gets stuck on something, and all of a sudden I jump off the ledge and into the void and die.
Oh, God.
So I have to redo the first part, which isn't difficult, and then I have to do the second part again.
Oh, God.
Whatever. So, learning from my mistake last time, I was able to not jump off into the void this time, find the ledge I needed to get to actually jump off of, attacked him, got him locked in, and took him out, no problems.
Nice.
So, he does do this funny little flail attack where he will run at you with his fists, and he'll like come up and hit you, and it does very negligible damage, and it doesn't do anything else, and it's just kind of funny.
That sounds like a Castlevania enemy where it's like a skeleton that would throw an apple at you that does like 1 damage. It's like, why are you here? What are you doing?
He does have other attacks, like one that he carried over from the first time you fought him in the earlier maze. He has like this tentacle attack that just shoots forward, which is easily dodged, and it's telegraphed, so you can tell it's coming. They added one more attack where he summons like this ball of light that shoots out like these light arrows at you, and that will drop your health really fast.
Oh, okay.
But besides that, it's just you walk up on him and you hit him, you back up, wait for him to do an attack, and then run up on him again and hit him. And that massive light attack that he does, if you hit him, at least with my big Uru sword of destruction, holy sword of destruction, if you hit him once, it interrupts his spell casting, so he can't fire off the spell anyway.
Oh, okay.
So it was, for me, it was a real simple fight, and the dolls were no real issue. So
right.
So after beating him, it brings up a bridge. You go into the next area, get your lantern, and then I find more of these brain enemies. So,
oh no,
they're literally, think of like a Jack Skellington body where they're tall and lanky, but like a massive brain with several eyeballs all over it.
Oh no.
And you only run across these, I think, like once or twice in a previous map. So they're not very common beforehand. In this next area, they're everywhere. So,
oh boy.
These bad boys, when they open their eyes and look at you, they will cause the frenzy stat.
Oh god.
Yeah. On top of whatever the thing is that's still causing me frenzy is still up there doing it. Not in this particular area, but I can see like a light now that's being cast. And apparently whenever you go into that light, that's what's causing frenzy. But anyway, so attacking these things, they're not hard to kill, but you still have to deal with the frenzy stat afterwards.
Sure.
Which is a big danger, especially when there's 3 of these things in a row, all looking at you. And luckily, there's like these stone little things that you can hide behind, so you're not aggroing all 3 of them at once. But they're tall, they can see over it, and frenzy just sucks. I don't know why this is in here. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but what it is doing is not great.
It's pissing you off.
Yeah. So I get past this one area into another area, and I find a switch. And of course it's a switch, so I'm thinking, cool, shortcut, pull the switch.
Yeah.
No, I get this fun little cutscene of apparently the thing that had been causing me frenzy is this massive brain that's been hung in this tower.
Oh, jeez.
And when you flip this switch, you just drop that thing into a pit void.
Yeah, dope.
And that's it. I can go back and explore the other area without being frenzied now.
Nice. Go to hell, big brain.
Exactly. It's like, mother brain. Probably about the same size.
Oh, wow.
So I was able to finish exploring. I managed to find a blood stone, which you only apparently get one of those in every run, which allows you to upgrade your weapon to a level 10. So now I have my plus 10 flaming holy sword of destruction.
Yeah.
Which makes everything in this game a heck of a lot easier.
Right.
Once I get this stone, I go back. I go into like one small area, complete that, and then I find the next boss, which is Margot's wet nurse. Surprisingly, not difficult either.
Oh, nice.
Basically, it looks like it's this giant robed figure that has like 6 scythes as hands.
Okay.
So that kind of sucks.
I was going to say, like, Margot's wet nurse sounds like not really like a Bloodborne boss, and then you're saying, oh, yeah, like scythe hands. And it's like, there it is.
Yeah, no, it happens.
Yeah.
And during this entire fight, there's a baby crying in the background.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Just to stress you out a little bit more.
Yeah, well, and it's got like a mobile, like a slowed down mobile music playing in the background.
Okay.
So you have all of this happening while you're trying to fight this boss, and the boss is not difficult at all. It hits like a truck, but it doesn't necessarily track you 100% of the time. So it will randomly kind of just wander off in a direction, and while it's wandering off, it'll keep attacking in front of it. But it's not that hard to get behind it and hit it.
Right.
So you just keep following it and hitting it, and then it will turn around, and then it will try to attack you. And at that point, its tracking is on, because it will do this big side swoop where it'll try to hit you with all 6 of them, all 6 of its scythes.
Right.
And if it does that, that hurts, but it doesn't kill you. So,
right.
So I managed to get it down to half health, and all of a sudden the entire arena just goes black. Can't really see anything, and all of a sudden I see like these 6 purple glowing scythes in the in front of me. Like, all right, dodge, and those things just like shoot out at you. What I didn't happen to notice is that apparently the wet nurse has cloned itself. So after I dodged the first attack, all of a sudden I see a bunch of other scythes show up next to me. I'm like, dodge, and then I turn around and I see 2 of these things coming at me. I'm like, no. This sucks. So I am running around, and this arena is a circle. I am running around this circle, like doing an MMO train, where it's like they're following me, but I'm just fast enough that I can keep ahead of them, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And all of a sudden, the darkness dissipates, and I'm back down to just one wet nurse.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, okay. I don't know if this is a glitch or if this is supposed to happen or what. So I run back in there and just light her up, take her out, health bar down to 0. But I don't get the, nightmare slain or terror, whatever.
Oh, no.
And her health bar is still there, but it's at 0. I'm like, oh, crap, maybe this was a glitch. No, apparently this is just how the game is. Because after sitting there for like 15, 20 seconds, all of a sudden it pops up and says nightmare, destroyed or whatever. And then I get my trophy. I'm like, cool. I am good
Nice.
with that because it wasn't hard, but I didn't necessarily want to do it again.
Yeah.
So after taking on that boss, I go back into my safe space in the game, and things have drastically changed.
Okay.
Everything is literally on fire.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's at this point that I do know from hints that I've been given that when that happens, you can choose to beat the game right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's otherwise known as "This is fine" stage.
Yeah,
Right.
I choose not to because I still have. Well, I have 4 bosses, but 2 of them are like final bosses. But on my wanted poster list, I still have 2 optional bosses that I need to take out. And I've been taking like copious notes of this game as I've been playing it, so I think I know where it is. I go back into an area that I explored before, but couldn't get further because there are these locked doors that you need a key for to be able to continue on. Like, I don't know what key I need for this. I don't know where it's at. Let me just go up there, check the doors, and see if I manage to pick them up at some point.
Right.
Apparently I did, because I walked up there and it's like, hey, you used this key. Doors open. I'm like,
Great.
Sweet. So let me scroll up my notes here. All right. So continuing this next area, it's another short area. So you've only got like a couple areas to explore, and then you find a boss. This boss is like the easiest boss. It's called the Celestial Entity? Emissary.
Celestial pushover.
Yeah. Celestial Emissary. So what this is you have these alien-looking creatures that are apparently plants, or at least it looks like they could be plants, but they look like sci-fi blue alien, big head, all that stuff, tiny bodies.
Okay.
There's the boss, and then there's like 5 copies of this boss roughly. I couldn't get a count because they were like swarming all over the place. As soon as you kill one of the copies, it summons another one in its place. Which, these aren't difficult. I'm taking them out in 2 hits, and since my Uru Sword of Destruction has such a wide arc to it, I can take out like 4 of these things in 2 swings, no problem.
Nice.
So you figure out which one the boss is by the fact that all of the copies have a health bar above its head, but the boss has the major health bar on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So by swinging into this group, I managed to figure out, okay, that one's the boss. The rest of these are just whatever. So I concentrate on the boss, get it down to just about half health, and all of a sudden this thing goes from being like a 4-foot tall shrimp to being a 3-story tall whatever this thing is. And it now has tentacle hair coming out of its giant head.
Great.
Okay. Run up, do a couple slashes just to test out, what its stats have changed to now since it's obviously gotten bigger. And it's still taking the same amount of damage. Screw it. So I just run in there, throw on some flames on my sword, take that thing out. And in the middle of its death throes, it manages to damage a window, like the stained glass window that's by one of the steps, which I didn't notice at first, but it's right next to the lantern after you beat the boss. And I just happened to look up and saw it was kind of jacked up, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I accidentally swung because I was screwing around, and I managed to finish destroying the window, which leads me into another area.
Oh.
That's cool. Go explore this area, and it's a hallway with an elevator at the end of it. And at the bottom of that elevator is the next optional boss that I need.
Hey, there we go.
Cool. This is all working out.
Yeah.
The next boss... where is it in my notes?
Putting in work.
I know. This is like all week that I've been working on this. Iberitas. I think is how you pronounce that. Iberitas? Something like that. It's supposed to be this dragon boss. It doesn't look like a dragon. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I go in to fight this thing. This boss, you're at this massive arena, and it's all the way at the other end, and it has its back to you. So you can walk all the way up to it, and it won't aggro to you until you attack it. All right, so I attack it. The thing turns around and hits me once and pretty much drops me down to 1 HP. I'm like,
Oh, jeez.
all right, let's back this all the way up before before this goes sideways. It has a lot of long range attacks, which I didn't really have to deal with because I had managed to find out that if I can get behind it, it has these. It's basically like a fungus is what it looks like with a head.
Okay.
But it's got these twin tails at its base that are floor level, and if you can manage to wedge yourself in between its twin tails, whenever it turns around, because of clipping, you get turned around with it.
Ah, right.
And the vast majority of its attacks are forward. And the clipping doesn't work all the time, because there are some times where it'll do like this fast turn and you're just there in front of it, which is a very bad place to be. So I'm sitting here just like hacking away at this stupid thing. It does like this weird flying attack where it flies up in the air, flies to the other side, and then it unleashes like this holy wrath of whatever, where it's shooting like these beams of light at you. And I managed to dodge him. It doesn't like 3 waves where there's like a second in between each wave. And if you don't have your dodge on correctly, all those will hit you and all of those will kill you, because I took the very last one by accident. And that also dropped me to about like a third of health.
Oof.
So yeah, it was going to be a very bad day.
Yeah.
So managed to heal up, close up on it again. When you get it to around half health, all of a sudden it emits an aura where just being by it causes you damage.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is really crappy, because obviously you have to be by it to be able to hit it.
Right.
Whatever. Luckily, though, I managed to have a bunch of blood vials with me, so I could just keep it. And it's not doing like massive amounts of damage. It was basically like you were slow poisoned, where you could see your health bar just slowly going down gradually. So it wasn't anything major, but I managed to take out that boss. No problem.
Wow, nice.
So overall, it wasn't difficult. It hits really hard, but apparently if you stay between its tails, you're fine. Until the aura comes up, and then it only kind of sucks. Whatever. So, at this point, after beating 3 of these bosses, I'm like, alright, this is everything... Oh, actually, 4 bosses. This is everything that I'm aware of that I could do optionally. Because I'm not... Because of the stupid standards of the other Discord that I am with all these other losers who play Dark Souls games. I couldn't look up. I couldn't use the internet or anything like that. I could only
a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah,
like I'm
I could only use
go
whatever,
into this blind.
Yeah, I could only use whatever notes I had taken and whatever hints they gave me, which, surprise, 90% of those hits were screw jobs.
Right. Weapons are procured on site, the usual.
The real Dark Souls starts here.
Right.
So everything that I knew of at this point, I had completed. So I was like, all right, I am going to go take on this final boss and beat the game. I go into this next area at the Hunter's Dream. All of a sudden, like, this gate opens up. You can walk into this new area that you could never get into before. And there's a guy there, and you can talk to him. And he gives you 2 choices. And I choose a choice. And then my character dies. And then it goes into New Game Plus. Now,
okay.
Since I am a veteran Souls fan, I did upload my save file to the cloud before talking to this guy, because I figured that was probably what was going to happen. So I'm like, all right, I got my trophy, because him killing me is apparently one of the endings.
Sure.
Like, all right, cool. So I re-download my save file, go back into the area, talk to the guy again, choose the other option, and then I get to fight him as a boss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And him as a boss, what is his name? He is Gurham, the First Hunter.
Okay.
And he has a giant scythe that he uses to attack you with.
So many sides in this game.
So you're in a field of flowers. It's on an upward sloping hill, and you have this massive moon in the background.
Dope.
And you have this guy.
I've lost a lot of weight recently. Thank you very much.
you have this guy in a tattered trench coat with a hunter's hat with a scythe who occasionally jumps up into the air, and if you frame it just right, it looks like some pretty awesome Castlevania stuff going on.
Yeah, there we go.
So, with this scythe, he has a longer range than my sword does, which is fine. What's not fine is that he can extend that range, and he can hook you, bring you closer, and then do like this, I don't know, like 3-hit combo, which drops you down significantly in health.
Oh, boy.
Okay, this isn't great. On top of this, since he's a hunter NPC, the hunter enemies will advance on you and push the attack, whereas other enemies, they'll push on you and they'll try to advance a little bit, but there's usually some give or take, where you've got like a couple of seconds here to try to figure out the patterns and all that. Not with hunters. They are always pushing on you, and they are always attacking you for the most part. So you get very little breathing room for healing and trying to figure out the pattern. So I get him down to some point in health. I'm not even looking at his health bar, because if I don't look at him, he's on top of me. So I get him down at some point, and all of a sudden he switches where he tricks out his scythe. It turns into a single hand blade, and he's got his what do they call it? A thunderburst. So now he can shoot me with bullets, which doesn't cause me a whole lot of damage. But what it does do is that if he manages to shoot you with bullets when you're in mid-action, whether it be attacking, rolling, or whatever, he can stun lock you.
Oh, no.
This is a thing that you, as a hunter in this game, can do, which if you can stun lock the enemy, this opens up the availability for you to do what's called a visceral attack, where you walk up and basically punch something into the gut. You usually regain a ton of health, and it causes a massive amount of damage to the enemy. Guess what this guy can do?
Oh, no.
So that was a new thing to work out, but surprisingly, this mode of him was a lot easier to fight than the giant scythe mode that he has, because he telegraphs what he's doing a lot more, because he has to kind of wind up what he's going to do more so than he did before.
Gotcha.
So I can tell when he's about to use the Thunderburst. I can kind of arc roll around him as he's getting ready to use it, and I can usually get one hit off on him before he rolls away. Which is the other crappy thing, is that I cannot stun lock this guy at all. I can hit him once, and it will freeze him for a second, but then he can usually roll away right after that. So I can usually get about one hit on him, maybe two if I'm close enough, because he can only go backwards so far. So I have to do, I'm basically just chipping away at his health, where I can't get into a combo myself, because then that plants me where I'm at, which means he can rush back in and start attacking me, which then screws me.
Right.
So after 3 or 4 tries, I finally get this guy's pattern down, and I can finally take him out.
Nice.
And then I get my second ending. So, at this point, I'm like, all right, cool. I've officially beaten this game twice. I am going to search the internet for all of the secrets that it has on this game.
Yep,
so I can figure out what I need to do. And luckily, a lot of the stuff, I have managed to complete most of the stuff in this game.
Oh, wow, okay.
I also managed to not completely screw myself out of the final ending of this game.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, so which is a first for me, because usually when I go blind, there's no way I'm going to be able to get the super good ending or, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So for the third and final ending, there's this item type that you need, and you need 3 of them. There are 4 of them in this game. 2 of them you can get at any point in time, and I don't know what is going on out there, but people are yelling and saying hi. Anyway. Alright, seriously, what the... and... I want to yell, but it's going to spike my mic now. Anyway.
We're recording at home, everyone. It's just a little local flavor.
Yeah. So, what was I talking about? Items. There we go. So there are 4 of these items in this game. 2 of them are missable if you do certain things in this game, and 2 of them you can get at any point in time.
Okay.
Luckily for me, I did not meet any of the criteria for making the 2 missables missable.
Ooh,
so
nice.
I could have feasibly gotten all 4 of them, but apparently there's no reason to get all 4 of these items. You just need 3 of them.
Okay.
Cool. So I go get those 3 items, do what I need to do with them, and then I take on the boss again. So I have to fight the first hunter again, which leads into another cutscene that you've seen before after fighting him the last time, but then something else happens.
Okay.
And now you get to fight the moon presence.
Okay.
Really? Again?
I mean, there is a giant moon in the background of this boss fight, so why not?
Right.
So the moon presence is stupid easy.
Oh, God. Okay.
So it has... Basically, it will come up on you, and it will do this flurry of attacks, which are real easy to dodge. And as long as you stay to the side of it, you pretty much avoid everything.
Mm-hmm.
There is one attack that it will do where it will summon like this blood orb looking thing above its head, and that will drop you down to 1 health, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing in this map. The best part of that is, however, is that after it's done that attack, it's managed to stun itself for a couple of seconds.
Ooh.
So I was able to run up on it, attack it again, and pretty much get my health all the way back up to 90%. Because if you don't know at this point, when you take damage in this game, you have a small window to be able to refill the damage that was taken.
Oh, right, because it doesn't take off in one chunk, like it drains.
Yeah, and then it leaves like the shadow box, and that'll slowly drain, and that's brings it down to what your current health is. So at that point in time, if that shadow box is still there, every time you hit the enemy, it refills your health a certain amount until you've filled that shadow chunk. So it does that attack. I go in and wail on it, get my health back to 90%, and then it does this other weird bubble attack where it summons these blood bubbles everywhere. What I found out is this is a screwjob attack, because if you get hit by the blood that comes out of these blood bubbles, you cannot use your blood vials for up to like a minute or something like that.
Oh, boy.
Which is your health potion, which honestly at this point in the game, the amount of damage that I think I hit it down to like a third of health, and I got hit by this thing, which it doesn't do a whole lot of damage to me. So it was already almost dead anyway, so I wasn't really needing the health, so I just charged it, beat it up, and finished the game again.
Whoa, nice.
So that was all well and good. And I've now beaten Bloodborne 3 times. So
yeah.
I've got 3 trophies left in this game, and I'm really debating if I should go and get them, because they involve
Chalice
doing...
Dungeon.
Yep.
Boo hiss.
The one trophy that I need is collecting all the hunter weapons, which there is a claw weapon in the Chalice Dungeon. It's apparently always found at this certain level of one of the Chalice Dungeons, so that one's an easy get. The other one that I need is I have to get a Bloodstone fortification gem of like a certain rarity, which is randomly dropped in these Chalice Dungeons. And then the last trophy is I have to beat this boss that's all the way at the end of the Chalice Dungeons, which apparently takes some time and effort to get to them, to fight them.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just like, I'm good.
Yeah, I feel like for me, if I had enjoyed Bloodborne as much as you had, I usually at that point sort of say like, yeah, maybe I'll just end this on a high note, other than here's this 40-hour grind I have in front of me.
Well, and that was what I had posted in our Discord. Was I posted a screenshot of like all of my trophies and just wrote done.
Right. Peace.
And everyone was like, oh, so what are you going to do now? And I'm like, I am just going to enjoy the high of beating this game.
Right. I'm going to uninstall it.
Yeah, because I did all of this final stuff, like the last, 10 minutes that I've been talking, I did all of it Friday night into Saturday morning.
Oh, wow.
And then beat the game the final time. So it's like, I haven't played a video game since Saturday morning.
Right.
But yes, that is my very long section about Bloodborne and how I've beaten the game.
Congrats.
And I think I'm just done with video games now.
I wouldn't blame you.
Until the end of this month when more video games come out.
Right.
So yeah, that's all I've been playing.
The only real game of note to talk about, like I played a little bit of Destiny, I played a little bit of Fortnite, like nothing notable there. Fall Guys, the mid-season update came out. The thing most people have probably seen is Big Yeetus. If you haven't seen this, it's just a giant hammer that, like a spinning hammer that will show up randomly in levels. Sometimes it will be helpful. One of the ones I ran into was at Seesaw. You know, there's like multiple areas in Seesaw. It was right before the final set of Seesaws, and if you jumped into it the right way, it catapulted you all the way almost to the finish line. Like if you hit it perfectly. A lot of the other times it's going to kick you back, or like it's spinning side to side, so it could potentially just yeet you right off the map. Big Yeetus is a lot of fun, especially looking at people running towards it, not paying attention, and then just pew, like just getting rocketed right off the map. The other thing they did,
good name as well, by the way.
Yes,
My son really enjoys it for the same comical reasons you just listed.
it's really good. It's just like pure chaos. It's really great. The other thing they did is they changed virtually every one of the games. So the good and bad part about Fall Guys before this update is every game had the same layout. It's good while you're learning it. It's good, you know, once you get a handle on it, you can get further and further. But it was kind of boring. Now, I think the only games they haven't touched are Egg Scramble and the one with the matching the pictures, Picture Perfect? Was it whatever that one's called?
Yeah, the one where you're standing on the tiles and all that.
Yeah, I hate that one. It's easily my least favorite one.
It's better than the egg game.
I'm also not crazy about the egg. I will say it again. If they cut 30 seconds off of Egg Scramble, that game would be really good.
Or
but
if they
it's
just cut
too
that
long.
game altogether, that game would be
I would
really
be okay
good.
with that too. Yeah. So virtually, I think every other game has been changed. So they're not huge changes. It's a lot of like, in Slime Climb, everything's the same until the very end, and then it's all swinging stuff, or it's all like the spinning hammers on the slime all the way to the end. So it's still the same level layout, just the things that are causing you grief have been changed. Like the hoarders, the one where you keep the balls in your colored area, now in the middle, or in like that barrier between colors, there are those moving stacked up donut things that are always like bopping the balls into different areas. You don't have like a clear line into each area. So there seems to be 3 or 4 or 5 different variations of each level now, and that makes it way more fun to play. Because it's not just, here's Slime Climb, and it's the same. Here is Whirligig, and it's the same. Like, all of this stuff can be pretty significantly different. There's the one that starts with the Twinkies at the very beginning. I don't remember what that one is called. But there's that one, and then, like, the next thing is where you're pushing those revolving, like, 4-sided plus signs.
Oh, yeah. And then you got the closing door at the end of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That on that one, where those revolving plus signs are, that whole thing is gone. That entire surface has disappeared. If you're really good, and I'm not, you can sort of get through the middle of it. If not, like, you have to drop to the bottom and jump through those doors, those spinning platforms that have the doors in them. So it's like, there are some things that are pretty significantly different, and it makes it pretty fun. Because I think I'm ranked like 31 now. I'm trying to get to rank 40 by the end of the season. That's the max rank for the season. And this is sort of pushing me to play it a little bit more often, because there is now some variety. So it feels a lot less like these people are going to win because they have been playing it for 5 hours a day every day since it comes out, and they know the perfect line, and they know all like the special places to jump. It feels a lot less like that. It just feels like, all right, here's another monkey wrench. Good luck. Like, just try and make it.
Playing field a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, and it makes it more fun. Where it's like, all right, I'm playing Fruit Shoot again, and now this is different. So I really appreciate that. But I had virtually no time to play anything this week, so that's all I've been playing. Let's take a break. Let's talk releases for the week of September 21st, 2020. Halo 3 ODST comes out on PC and Android, or Game Pass. So I don't think they have too much left to add to
literally all of them except for maybe 5.
Okay, I think that's the end of the Master Chief Collection on PC, I believe.
I think so.
So yeah. I think Reach is a separate thing.
I think they already have Reach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so I think you're right. I think that's the last thing. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim comes out on PS4. This is Vanilleware's new title. One that I apparently just is going to be released fully formed specifically for me because it is a Vanillaware title, so it of course looks great. It is a visual novel / real-time strategy game about piloting giant mechs. So
you and
game of the year. Yeah, Misum and I are like chomping at the bit for this thing.
I want to check it out, but there's already 2 other JRPGs coming out too close to the end of this year, and I don't think I can fit a third. Plus Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I won't be playing Cyberpunk probably until next year if I play it at all. So I think I'll have that time free. Thankfully, something else will release, or I'm like, I gotta play that already. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 Complete Edition comes out for the PC and the Switch, which is a really weird combo, but it's coming out on both of those. Serious Sam 4 is coming out on PC and Stadia. It's a good time to remind you this is a PC and Stadia exclusive for seemingly no reason. So play it there, I guess. Vampire the Masquerade Night Road is coming out PC, iOS, and Android. This is a little bit like Coteries of New York that I'm playing, that visual novel. But it doesn't seem to be a sequel. It's sort of like a standalone related thing. So I will probably play it eventually. I had to finish Coteries first. And lastly, Mafia Definitive Edition comes out PC, PS4, and Xbox One. I'm really impressed with how this thing looks every time they show it. The original Mafia is a significantly older game at this point, and they have done an incredible job remaking that completely. I think that's pretty impressive.
Yep, this is also the same one included in the Definitive Edition. If you picked up the Definitive Trilogy a while ago, this is the version that comes with that trilogy. Oh,
right, because they didn't release it right away because they were working. Yeah, okay, yeah, all right, cool. All right, let's talk about news stories here. Starting off with the PS5 showcase, they showed Final Fantasy 16, which I had laughed about that being a rumor up until there were chocobos on the screen. And I was just like, oh no, I originally thought it was Final Fantasy 12-2, which got me very excited, but it seems like Final Fantasy 12-2 is just now Final Fantasy 16. They're being pretty clear about it not being anywhere close to release by saying, we'll tell you more next year. So maybe don't hold your breath until 2022 on this one.
Yeah, let's just remember the Final Fantasy 15 release announcement and how they were like, it's definitely this date. And then they got Greg Miller on stage a second time to say, sorry, it's not this date.
No.
And that was also followed by, it's now not Final Fantasy 13 Versus anymore. Now it's 15. It's just like, oh God.
But I'm legitimately excited for this just because I've always loved the more medieval Final Fantasy games, and I have the more, I guess, like modern, technologically advanced versions. And
it looks really good.
Seems like summons are going to be a really big thing in this game again.
Well, and I like the one of the lines in the game or the trailer where they're saying like the crystals have ruled us for far too long, and it's like, yeah, man, like let's do something different. All right, cool. Like I like when Final Fantasy goes for crystals, you know, the Warriors of Light, the classic stuff, but I also do like when they kind of buck the trend a little bit and try this. Also, for anyone out there that's saying like, boy, I hope this is turn-based.
No,
it's not gonna be.
It looks like it's using the 15 battle system.
Yeah, like I think you need to set aside the dream of a turn-based Final Fantasy game. That's Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest is really good. Yeah,
but you can still hope.
Yeah, you can still hope, and then just go play Dragon Quest 11 because it's really good. Spider-Man Miles Morales, they got a fairly lengthy gameplay trailer out of that. I was expecting them to show like maybe a villain or two, but they showed off about 5 or so minutes of gameplay, and that looks like Spider-Man. So you kind of can't go wrong. Yeah. And they did announce that there's like an Ultimate Edition of Miles Morales coming out on PS5 that also contains a remastered version of the PS4 Spider-Man. So if you haven't played that before, you can kind of get both in one package. And you should play the PS4 Spider-Man because it's really good. Mm-hmm. The worst kept secret in RPGs, Hogwarts Legacy, got announced. Good reminder that J.K. Rowling is a TERF and you should not support anything that will put any money in her pockets whatsoever. So, also, they're saying, well, you know, she didn't work on the game.
Doesn't matter.
And a lot of people are saying, like, yeah, but does she make any money on it? And they're like, anyways, Hogwarts Legacy is coming out later. It's like, okay. So probably the last time we're talking about this game. They showed COD Blops Cold War, which looks like a Call of Duty and COD Blops game. For better or for worse, that will probably be a good video game. I'm not in the market of telling you how good that looks. Resident Evil Village, kind reminder, not Resident Evil 8, because Capcom is really sticking to that. Resident Evil Village looks really good, and it just looks... Someone in Discord chat in our Not E3 2020 channel, which I created as a joke thinking it would last for about 2 months, said like it has to be a Resident Evil game because nobody enunciates the name Chris like anyone does in a Resident Evil game, and they were right. There's Resident Evil Village. That looks really good. They showed off more Deathloop. They showed a pretty long trailer about, you know, the two assassins hunting down, like making a bunch of attempts to hunt down two of the targets in the game, and there was like a window of opportunity where two of them were in one place. So it showed them like making multiple attempts on learning how to run this area. And that still looks really good. I think it's still a PS5 and PC exclusive, which sucks, but hopefully it comes to more stuff because exclusives suck. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, they are porting this yet again. That will be coming to PS5 as well. It'll have a ray tracing mode and a 120 frames per second mode. So that's pretty cool, but it doesn't seem like there's anything additional to this, so probably not a rush out and get it sort of title. They showed a trailer for Oddworld Soulstorm, which wasn't a gameplay trailer and wasn't a story trailer, and it had some new footage, but I don't know how you show that game.
No,
when
you cannot advertise the Oddworld games. They are too strange to advertise. It's always been their biggest problem.
They did the thing that they needed to do, which is put Lorne Lanning in front of a camera, have him talk about the game for a while, and then sort of turn it over to a trailer. So that's, like you said, that's all they can do. So it's nice to see Lorne Lanning too, because he's not in enough stuff. I like seeing him. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Five Nights at Freddy's is back again for like the 30th time. So that seems to be an exclusive, but no one really seems to know 100% about that. But who knows? Demon Souls, they showed a super long gameplay trailer of this, which was essentially like the tutorial area and then fighting that giant thing that is going to kill you at the end of the tutorial.
Yeah.
And boy, does that look really good. Oh my God. Like, just graphically, that's one of the few games I've seen. Like, Spider-Man looks really good. Final Fantasy 16 was running on a PC. Like, a lot of this stuff is not immediately super impressive. Ratchet and Clank, I think, is really good looking. But, like, Demon Souls, like, seeing that game with, like, the fog and the lighting and them fighting stuff, it's just like, holy crap, guys. Like, I love Demon Souls, and you made it look really good.
Speaking of very old games, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. They announced the PlayStation Plus collection, which isn't confusing at all. Anyone with an active PS Plus membership can download what is essentially a grip of PS4 games on their PS5 day one for free. So it has like Bloodborne, Final Fantasy 15, God of War, Persona 5, Ratchet and Clank, Resident Evil 7, Uncharted 4. That's like a third of the list. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. So if you have a PlayStation Plus membership, as soon as you get your PS5, you can download essentially the greatest hits of the PS4 and just play those day one. So a lot of those are really good. And I would highly recommend a lot of those, especially Persona 5.
May I just say patreon.com/E1M1. So the ones and numbers, by the way.
Yes.
Just so that we can... I'm seeing right there in the list, look, it says Resident Evil 7 is a PlayStation Plus membership game.
Get to that $250 a month tier.
And Boston has
day
PlayStation
one for
Plus.
PS5.
Let's see if we can get him a double present on release day.
Yeah, there you go. So let's talk about prices and release dates and stuff like that. The disc version of the PS5 will be $500, which is a great price. The digital version, which will remind you the specs are the same, it just doesn't have a disc drive, is $400. And both of those launch on November 12th. The Series X and S releases on the 10th of November. So that's going to be a busy week. Let's talk about what happened in the next 2 hours after that thing aired. Unofficial Sony spokesman Jeff Keighley took to Twitter and started talking about everything that for some reason wasn't in the video, like when pre-orders go live, what the launch titles are, how backwards compatibility looks. So pre-orders were going to go live the next day, except LOL, they went live then. And that whole process has just been pooched, to put it quite kindly.
Yep.
I have managed to secure a PS5 of my own from Amazon. I got in within the first minute of that being listed, which is probably the only reason I've managed to get one. I did not get chosen by the holy emails that Sony was sending out for pre-orders, so I hope I'll be getting one from Amazon. But I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I thought the video was really great. I think those prices are really great. It's nice to see this coming out at the same time that the Series X and S is coming out. I wish that pre-orders would have happened like they said they were going to, / potentially hope they were going to. They apologized and they said, like, we're going to have a bunch ready, but like, it's, I don't know.
We all knew this was going to be a screw job.
Well, and it's really interesting because Microsoft is opening pre-orders across all the sites on September 22nd, 11 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern. And the way that they have done it is, this is the rumor, is that Microsoft has told these retailers, if you break pre-order street date, if it goes live at any point earlier than this, we are significantly decreasing the number of consoles we are giving you. So you really don't want to break this date and this time. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, super excited to pre-order an Xbox next week. Hopefully that goes... It can't go much worse. He says, hopefully not prophetically. I'm hoping it goes much more smoothly. And then a last quick note here, they teased of God of War sequel, which of course is coming. Kratos says something about Ragnarok coming, which of course it is, but I'm still pretty pumped because that game will probably be pretty good. Then Nintendo did a quick partner showcase. They announced 2 new Monster Hunter games. Monster Hunter Rise for the Switch, which is kind of the next entry in the mainline series. And then Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, which I did not think they were going to do a Stories sequel, which is really great. Both of those look super cool. And I will probably play Stories 2. They also showed off also another RPG, Worst Kept Secret, Disgaea 6 Defiance of Destiny. It's coming out next summer of 2021. That's a Switch exclusive in States, which sucks. Coming out on PS4 in Japan, so there's some hope.
Probably give it a year and they'll switch it out.
Yeah, and it'll probably come out like Disgaea Perfected of Destiny, and it'll have all this stuff in it and have all the fixes, and that'll come to PS4 as well. So maybe just wait a year. They show off Empire of Sin, which is looking much better every time they show it. That's coming out December 1st, 2020. That's the Romero games. John and Brenda Romero are both designing that. That looks really good. And that I'm super pumped about that coming out. They announced that Hades is out now. It's out of early access as of pretty recently on PC, and that's out now. And it's on sale for $20 for the first, I think, week or so. Apparently, it runs super great on Switch, and it's sort of taking the internet by storm right now, which is great because Hades was really fun. When I tried it as early access, and apparently it has only gotten way better in the meantime.
It's always good to hear.
Yeah, especially for that studio where it's like, Bastion was a huge hit. Transistor did pretty well. Pyre was a bit of a miss. But Hades has done really, really well for them. Rune Factory 5 got announced, which is really great. I can hear Mina just screaming in joy in the background. Yeah, which is really great. And lastly, Ori and the Will of the Wisps is out now for the Switch. The developers released a video saying like, hey, it's 720p handheld, 900p docked, and it runs at 60 frames. And they showed a really, really super fast-moving action sequence, and it was locked at 60 frames the whole time. So that is really nice to see.
That game, dude. Like, you may need to go back and think about revisiting that thing before 2.5 months have passed.
Yeah, I need to either buy it on Switch and play it there or wait for the Series X and play it there, because my PC streaming setup is not crazy about it for some reason.
Because it's on the Microsoft storefront, and they have the most archaic way of storing their games. That's all stored under the stupid folders. It's not a single executable, so it's impossible to
honestly
find.
I don't even mess with it anymore. On my Moonlight setup, I have that open terminal services, and then I just open up the Xbox app and start the game. Like, I don't even mess with any of it. Like, I open up remote desktop, I pick the game, and it works really great for like 99% of games. But yeah, I thought that was a really good showcase of like, hey, here's a bunch of third-party games, here's a bunch of cool stuff that's coming out. They did like a deep dive into Monster Hunter right after that, and all that stuff looks really good. Like, I like them doing these smaller videos more often of like, here's a bunch of third-party stuff all just gathered in one video. It's 20 minutes. Here's a bunch of cool games. Half of them are out right now. I think that's really great. All right, let's get to questions here because we've been carrying over questions here for a couple of weeks. T-Bomb Rock says, now that Xbox has released their prices and the new added value of EA access to Game Pass, it feels like they will keep a strong momentum. Even if Sony matches price, it's going to be hard to compete in value. You are now the CEO of Sony again. What's your marketing plan? When do you greenlight an Intelligent Cube sequel?
Now.
I don't know what Intelligent Cube is, so I'm just going to skip right past that one.
Yeah, it's like a PS1. Yeah. It's like a semi-beloved PS1 puzzle game.
A bit like Dizzy the Egg in England.
Yes, very much so. Yep.
Just look up a video of it. You don't need to play it.
What's my marketing plan? I feel like...
They've done what they can. They couldn't lower the price any further. Like, they literally couldn't. The whole reason they didn't announce a price and Microsoft didn't announce a price was because each was waiting for the other one to go first. And I know that Microsoft are annoyed that they had to go first. End of discussion.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
They wanted Sony to go first so they could match or beat that price. And it didn't happen.
I feel like Microsoft is in a really great spot now because they have the Series X, it's $500, true 4K, all the marketing BS they spout on Twitter every day. Then they have the Series S at $300, which is $100 cheaper than the cheapest PS4. It's 1440p. It's a strong console. It's stronger than the Xbox One X by and large. Mm-hmm. And I think they're in a really good spot with their two consoles. I think Sony is in a really good spot with their two. The $500 is really solid for the disc version of the PS5. I'm really I was budgeting for $600 to $650 for that. Very happy it's not. And I wish they were marketing the all digital version more because they're not pushing the fact that it is a PS5. It's the exact same power as the other one. It's just $100 cheaper. The same hard drive, same everything. It's just cheaper. You don't care about the discs. You don't have to pay the $500. No big deal.
I think the thing that we tend to forget as quote-unquote gamers is not everyone is on board the digital train. Like, not everybody is. Most people
absolutely.
Still like the discs.
I bought a disc version because I have all these PS4 discs, and like half of the time I just bought three or four games from GameFly because they had a sale, and I bought 3 games for like $50. I think it was. And it's like Sony has been doing really great with digital sales. So has Microsoft, although they're doing less because of Game Pass. And I feel like from a console power perspective, they could say like the other guy has 2 levels and one's not as powerful. Sure, we've got 2 levels and they're both the same power, no big deal. If they want to get into that sword measuring contest, so to speak, they could. But I think the interesting to T-Bomb Rock's question is like, you're the CEO of Sony again. What's your marketing plan? Number one, there doesn't seem to be one right now other than here it is, here's the date, here's the price, leave us alone. But I feel like probably in the short term, their marketing plan is there aren't a lot of Microsoft first-party games slated for the first couple of months of the Xbox Series life. Here are all of the games, Sony first-party games. They're all going to be like third-person action games because they are, for better or for worse. Here are all the exclusives you can play on the PS5, and here's how they look. And I feel like that's probably their best marketing other than the PS5 is coming out / the PS5 is out.
The problem is they can't. There isn't a lot of first-party across either platform, either first or third. There is not a lot of exclusives going across within launch. Even saying launch window, which is people usually count that as like 3 months after the actual release date. Both Microsoft and Sony have lost all of their tentpole launches. Like they have like Deathloop is getting pushed back till next year. Obviously Halo got pushed back till next year. Like
Ratchet and Clank is coming out, Miles Morales is coming out. I don't know when.
Miles is a 2-generation thing, though, isn't it? And
yeah, but like, God, so many people are filling their Pampers about that this week.
I know.
Jesus Christ! Like,
but the thing that tickles me is,
I know you're not, but
the thing that tickles me is Sony. When Microsoft said all of our stuff runs across the generations, you'll have OG,
Halo Infinite,
1, and X.
Yeah.
Sony's response was, "We are a generational developer."
Right.
They are the ones who touted their own horns about how they believe in console generations, yet here they are.
Sure.
With their quote-unquote console exclusives for PlayStation 5 also coming out on PlayStation 4.
I have been really surprised at the number of people that have been so angry about that this week, because like Horizon Forbidden West, I think is the title of it, is coming out for PS5, and then this week they announced like, oh yeah, it's also coming out for the PS4. So many people are legitimately, genuinely angry about that. And it's like, look, if you don't care about resolution or frame rate, like I'm sure it's going to look and run great on PS4, then you don't have to buy a PS5 for $500 to play a game.
Like, I think the only reason people are mad about this is because that's what Sony said. Sony literally banged on the... Sorry, beep that right there, please. They banged on the generational drum so hard after Microsoft was talking about backwards compatibility.
Right. And I think we're seeing Sony unable to revise their marketing on that, because number one, there's a bunch of games announced during that thing where it's like, oh, it's also coming to PC. Oh, whoops, we put that in there wrong, like Demon Souls. That's coming out on PC later. No one's going to wait for it. Like, it doesn't matter. But like, they could have marketed anything in that video. Nevertheless, oh, Horizon Forbidden West is coming on PS5. Obviously, that's the best place to play it. Here's all the buzzwords for why that's better. You know, ray tracing, 4K, blah, blah, blah. SSD, yada, yada. But it's also, if you're not ready to take the generational leap, it's also coming out on PS4. It won't be true 4K. It won't have SSD. It won't have ray tracing. Like Microsoft has been doing, saying, hey, if you want to play Halo Infinite, we want you to play it. Oh, we don't care where you play it, because it's going to be one of our platforms. So if you don't want to buy a Series S or X, that's cool. It'll come out on Xbox One, and your Xbox One X is the best place to play it.
And it'll come out on PC, where you can play it there too. Sure,
yeah. As another thing, I get the impression that Sony hasn't necessarily figured out their marketing. Their like soup to nuts marketing plan on the PS5, which isn't super surprising from them, because I think they were ready to come out and say like, here's the PS5, you're gonna buy it, right? And I think everyone's like, I don't know, the 3080 is pretty cheap. And I think Sony was sort of like, oh no. Jimbo Jangles in chat says, will you stick with the PS5 for third-party games, Boston? I'm gonna be getting both, so it's sort of... It depends a lot of, like, if it's a graphical powerhouse, where does it look best? If it's a multiplayer game, where is everyone playing it? You know, I'll have the option again of...
We can expect Boston to get his Assassin's Creed on his Xbox and his Bungie games on the PlayStation.
Well, I play Destiny 2 on everything. So thankfully, no more console exclusives from Bungie, which is fantastic. But yeah, a lot of it is like, you know, where are my friends playing? Where does it look the best? That sort of thing.
Is it on Game Pass?
Is it on Game Pass? Yeah, Game Pass is. And I feel like Sony really tried with the PlayStation Plus collection to try and say,
we've got that
here's this value add of free, quote unquote, free games for when you get your console. Because when you look at buying a Series S or X, you don't have to buy any more games. No. I feel like people don't realize this when you look at Game Pass, because all of us listening to the show, we're still going to buy games, because something is going to come out, some JRPG is going to come out that's not on Game Pass, that has miraculously come out on the Xbox platform. I feel like for the majority of people, they buy the console and then they'll look at Game Pass and it's like, well, literally everything I want to play comes out for free, so I'm good. Like I don't have to buy anything else. I just have to keep my subscription up.
The only thing that kind of sucks about that, though, is that if you're like me and you've had your Plus subscription up for years, you already have most of these games.
Sure.
So,
And I feel like this is really marketed towards people that maybe are crossing the platform divide again, or like maybe buying a PlayStation console for the first time, or they just like kind of missed, like Persona 5 is on there. Like if you didn't play Persona 5, now you can get it for free on PS5. Like there's a couple of games in there that I think are really great value.
It's a good list if you've never played any of those games before,
right?
But
if you've had your PS5 for a while, it's like like Uncharted 4 and Infamous Second Son. I got the platinum in those. Like I'm good, but
I got them when they were back on the PS3.
Before we move on to the next question, can I just do a quick console war spiel here?
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. Support what you want to support. Play what you want to play. Boston bleeds blue. I bleed green. Nim bleeds a weird purple color because he plays mostly on the PC. The thing you need to respect and appreciate is you don't have to be nasty to other people if they're not of your quote-unquote persuasion. Because as long as Sony's doing great and Microsoft is doing great, it's better for everybody. And Nintendo is doing great. It's better for everybody. Because that PlayStation 5 is not $500 without Microsoft coming out and saying it's $500. That PlayStation is $600 to $650.
Oh, easily. Like Sony would be more than happy to be like, it's $600 and $500 for the one without disc drive. Pony up.
Without that leak for Xbox, that doesn't happen. Without Game Pass, Bloodborne, all the PlayStation Plus stuff, without Game Pass existing, that doesn't happen. Without PlayStation Plus absolutely nailing it in the PlayStation 3 decades, Game Pass doesn't happen. So one pushes the other to do better, which pushes the other to do better, and it benefits everybody. So bleed your respective colors. Don't be nasty. Bleed your colors. Don't make other people bleed theirs. Yeah. There we go.
We wouldn't have trophies on PlayStation if Xbox didn't have achievements.
100%. PS3 didn't launch with trophies.
Nope.
Party chat.
And it almost broke the system for them to add trophies.
Yeah, God. Also, a piece of programming note here with the next-gen consoles here coming out. The week of November 10th, those are current-gen consoles. The PS4 and the Xbox One will be previous-gen consoles on this show. So just for anyone, we don't call them next-gen consoles when the PS5 comes out because that's the current gen. So we will slip up, make no mistake. But just a programming note, you'll hear that in like a month and a half going forward.
Yes.
T-Bomb Rocks also sends a question, with Apple being a bunch of b-holes about gaming apps on their devices, which I feel like this has been a story in the making for like the last 30 years. It has me wondering something. What's the most crap you've put up with from a company or platform that caused you to reluctantly leave? The Hannah replied nearly immediately with stares in Vita.
Yep. Nimp with his, showing his Vita.
Nimp has a Vita within arm's reach.
Yeah.
In what looks like an official Vita case as well, by the way.
It even says PS Vita on the case. I don't know if you can see that.
That's a snazzy case, man.
Yeah. Opens up and everything.
Whoa.
Well, that's the purpose.
Almost just dumped your Vita on the floor where it's like, oh no.
It's attached, so...
Wow, look at that. Fancy. Yeah.
I even got the white one for Assassin's Creed, which I've had this for so long, I forget that the actual color is black. So when I see a non-white Vita, I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, like, what's that thing? I mean, the Vita is...
Both the PSP and the Vita.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't know which is more maligned, or, like, which one is more ignored. By the way, something I need to do as well, go find your PSPs, look at the battery. Like right now, literally, as you were listening to this, mine is in one of these bins. I don't see like a giant explosion in one of them yet, so I think
it's in my nightstand next to my bed.
Woof, okay.
Yeah.
Because I still play a lot of East games on my PSP.
Right. I feel like,
by the way, folks, it's because those batteries are swelling and starting to explode potentially. So go check out your old electronics.
Yeah. I feel like those are the two easy ones where it's just like,
Having never owned either of those, I'll tell you it was Apple who did it for me with their forced obsolescence. So, thanks, Apple.
Yeah, and like, I feel like a lot of people that weren't maybe necessarily around in gaming at the time might mistakenly think of the original Xbox, but the original Xbox never had the attachment to it at the time
You shut your mouth.
that the 360 did as a 360. Like when Microsoft announced the 360, almost immediately everyone was like, "Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Like that's yeah. You got it on your second try." The original Xbox is fantastic. It's this huge the largest console until the PS5 was measured. PS5. The PS5 is so huge, guys.
Yep.
Sony.
You know what? You know what occurs to me? Like literally, I was looking at I think I was doom scrolling, and I just happened to spot a picture of a PS5. It made me think of the marker from Dead Space. with the twist.
We found a blue marker. That's really good. But like when Microsoft like cut the strings on the original Xbox, it's sort of like, yeah, you guys did that pretty fast, but look at this thing over here. Like, look at this monumental leap you guys are making.
Mm-hmm.
Sony never did that with the PSP or the Vita. It was sort of like, here is our brand new technology. It will change handheld games for the future of. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, like before they even got through the sentence, they were already bored with it and they were moving on to something else.
Out of curiosity, like somebody do the work because none of us are going to do it because we're all lazy dudes. Go and check out the announcement the announcement events for the PSP and the Vita, and then see if they're even mentioned, how quickly they are not mentioned in the next year's E3 conferences.
Or it's just like a sizzle reel of like the PlayStation Vita. Moving on.
10-second trailer. It's like, whoa.
Right.
The crap thing about the Vita was it had good games. It played and worked well.
It had solid power. It had a great screen.
But Sony slowly stopped talking about it, even though it was still being supported, and they kept telling you, oh no, we are still supporting this.
It's a very important part of our brand family.
This is our 3-pillar diagram, whatever BS thing that they pulled out. And then it feels like the next day they put a bullet in the back of its head.
Right. The PS Vita moved to a really nice farm upstate. It's doing super well. It's very happy up there. It's running around, playing with the sheep.
Dude, I live upstate. There's so many farms full of Vitas in this area. Like, literally, we were driving, we went camping. It was like cow, sheep, Vita, PSP, original Game Boy, cow.
There's a
sheep,
3DO over there. Like, it's still hanging on.
Is that a Virtual Boy getting some water at the basin?
Moo. Yeah, I feel like very few other consoles that didn't just fail, like the CDI, the 3DO, the Jaguar, like all of these, the Virtual Boy, like there are these consoles that just failed out of the gate. Like even the Dreamcast made it a significant amount of time before Sony just imploded. Sorry, Sega imploded. Sony kind of caused that. But like the PSP and the Vita were both good consoles that had good games and good support, especially from third parties, which is what killed the Dreamcast.
Oh, Japan
and then Sony
loved its Vita. Japan and all of the Japanese studios.
Look at all these Monster Hunter games.
Yeah,
let's go. And then they just stopped caring, and they never figured out how to do it the same way that Nintendo did it, where it's like, here's the Switch, here's the 3DS. Both of them are just as important.
Well, that's the thing for me, because it's not so much that I reluctantly left Sony because of the V, or anything like that. However, if Sony at any point in the future ever announces that they're doing another handheld for whatever reason, I'm not buying it, because they've already screwed me twice on this. Right. And I think Nintendo with the Switch has pretty much closed that door for Sony, because the Switch is so popular now as a handheld,
you can't even compete.
As a TV stand console, that you can't get the numbers that, for some reason, that you were looking at beforehand. Unless
you make like unless you literally make like a Vita 2 that is literally the Switch. It does the docking and everything. It just has a better screen. But then at that point, everyone's just like, you just stole the Switch. Like, what are you doing here, man?
Yeah.
I mean, all handheld gaming companies have always made one mistake, except for Nintendo. They're the only one who don't. You build them like bricks, number one.
Mm-hmm.
So kids can throw them at each other's faces and break teeth and the console remains fine. And two, you buy cheap crap parts. Don't go super high tech because then your cost is just so high.
The original Game Boy was made out of watch parts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's the cheapest, worst, terriblest technology that they could make function into, like you said, an unbreakable brick. And it was cheap enough for them to make, which is cheap enough for them to sell. And then they figured out how to market it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And let's not break any bones here as well. Nintendo makes considerable markup on every single console it sells.
Mm-hmm.
Sony and Microsoft will lose money on every single console they sell.
Yep. And Nintendo has the added bonus of super high attach rates on first-party titles with zero decrease in price ever.
Yeah.
So like they're making money on both ends, which is just the dream position you want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Last question here is from Angel Eye. Says, with the release of the new 4K HDR Ghost in the Shell, which just that case looks so good.
Isn't that LCM?
Yes, we Critical Misses. We do have a anime hits sort of theme season. We'll do at some point.
I may have to pick up the 4K HDR version of that then, because ain't no way I can stream that.
No, well, and I need to read reviews on it because when they first put it on Blu-ray, they sort of messed it up because it was originally a 4:3 movie, and then they just chopped parts off the top and the bottom and made it 16:9. It's like, no, that's not what you do. It dawns on me that I've owned every copy of this movie except for VHS, which makes me think, what are the titles that you've bought every edition to, or nearly every edition, because you think the title deserves more widespread attention?
The second part of the question is going to put a damper on it here for me, because it's not so much a case of it deserves more widespread attention, more because I love it so much. Alien Quadrilogy. I have every single format that every single Alien movie has been released on, except for probably the Laserdisc.
It might be hiding back there somewhere.
No, it wouldn't be here anymore. Like I moved countries. Do you honestly think that I'm bringing anything across country? Me, the former box guy and disc guy, had to get rid of all my boxes.
Yeah.
When I moved, like. Sure, if you want to get a Laserdisc and pay £20 or $20 so you can bring just the Laserdisc from country to country, that's fine, you can do that, but I'm getting rid of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that. I hate to say it, but Starship Troopers, like, I bought every version of that too, and if you haven't heard episode 2 of ODNF, go and listen to it, and then get the 4K version of that, the UHD version, because that thing is so good. Like, they've touched that thing up spectacularly well.
I seem to buy a lot of copies of Scott Pilgrim whenever they announce, like, oh, this one has, like, a trivia track, and this one has, like, 2 or 3 more director's commentaries. Like, I'll scoop that stuff up.
Like Pop-Up Pilgrim kind of trivia track?
Yes, one of them had, like, a pop-up video style thing. It was really good. My knee-jerk one was like, oh, well, Star Wars, of course. And I thought, like, I think the last copy of Star Wars I bought was on DVD. I don't think I've bought any of I bought, like, the more recent ones on Blu-ray, but not, like, the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy. You know, I haven't bought any of those because.
Oh, I see. You just refuse to support the mouse. I see how it is.
Yeah, exactly. Disney Plus, more like Disney minus.
Yeah. The original trilogy, I have the original 3 VHSs for that, and I have the THX remastered original trilogy, and those are the only ones that I've bought.
Yeah.
But for me, and this is because in the 80s, and I know Moon's not going to know what I'm talking about, I was a really big fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Dude, I know who they are.
Right. They're called something different over in England, but they're the same guys.
Dude, the Transformers were also the Transmorphers over in England. You don't see me showing off about that. They weren't. I'm just kidding. That's not real.
But, so I have the whole TV cartoon run on VHS because my parents bought that for me. And I had all the movies on VHS because my parents bought those for me.
Right.
I have not rebought any of those, but my family keeps buying me the new versions of those every time they come out. So I've got
every Christmas.
Yeah, so I've got all the VHSs, I've got all the DVDs, I have all of the Blu-rays. I just got last year the 4K pack of all 4 movies.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Put them in the lineup. Here we go.
It looks cool. The last one that I got, it came in a CD case that looks like a sewer grate. I'm like,
that's cool.
All right, that's cool. But
yeah,
I'm 35 now, and I've already seen these way too many times. So
right.
I wish I could remember where I had the story, but I remember hearing somebody talk about how their grandmother got them a T-shirt one Christmas, and then the next year they got them the exact same T-shirt, but the size had gone up by 1. And it felt very, very depressing.
That's great. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I typically don't buy a lot of movies because tune in to TVGP's Critical Misses. I don't watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot more TV. And every TV show is streaming nowadays where it's like, this is coming out exclusively on Amazon Video. So I feel like there's not a lot of stuff that I buy. And anime is always way too expensive to buy more than one copy. Usually they'll be like, it's out on Blu-ray now. It's like, no. I can't. Yeah. No one can afford that. Like I bought that on DVD and it was too expensive.
The only anime I've ever bought was Spice and Wolf that came with the Blu-ray complete edition. That was because it was on sale for like $23.
Nice.
For my wife's collection here, she owns every single special edition of every single Fallout, the expensive editions. Except for 76.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Like you can probably see it, but right in the bottom corner of my screen there is the Pip-Boy edition that I bought for her.
Hello there.
Behind that door over there.
Yeah, mine is under a pile of Destiny ghosts.
Translation of all giant nets.
Yeah, hey, I mean, it came with a Pip-Boy, man. How could I not?
I was the guy that slid his phone, took his phone out of his case and slid it into the Pip-Boy because I was like, I paid for it. I have to do it at least once.
Yep. And found out it was fine.
Yeah, it was all right.
It wasn't that helpful.
I don't
know. I feel like
I will always buy most stuff physically to do with Isaac. Again,
100%.
Good example of them standing at the top of my bookshelf behind me with the giant, plushy figures.
So I don't know if you can see it on stream. There's a plant behind me here now. I told my wife, she's like, I want to put a plant in your office. Is that okay? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, I'll put a little plant in the background. And she's like, oh, where are you do you want me to put it somewhere? And I said, oh, no, put it on my desk because I'll move the Isaac card game I'm never going to play and I'm going to put it over there. She's like, oh, okay, wait, what? It's just like, yeah, I'm going to support Ed. I'm never going to play that card game. I'm never going to play Tapeworm, but
Yep.
Tapeworm's coming at some point too. Yep. I don't remember if I bought the not safe for work version of Tapeworm, which he showed the artwork out on that, and it's not called Tapeworm on that edition, which I did not realize.
Oh, jeez. So I guess that one's staying in the box.
Yeah, we can talk about what that's called after we're done recording. Oh, boy. All right, well, that's all of our questions this week, which means we are done. We finally made it through our backlog of questions. Thank you, everyone, for sending them in. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us on the right-hand side of the page. Come join our Discord. Got a couple of new people hanging out recently. Everyone is more than welcome. We always, usually for a lot of the big press conferences that are going on, we'll probably do something around TGS as well. Hanging out in the Not E3 2020, doing some live reactions with a bunch of people. We're not doing video, just chat. Hanging out, doing that. It's always a good time. The merch store, Moonpear's brand new shirt. available on the merch store right now.
I ordered it already.
Yeah, great. It's so good.
I also ordered it.
Yeah, there we go. Our 2 out of 2 sales. Here we are. Go buy those. Go buy a whole bunch of other stuff. There's a bunch of t-shirts over there. All those t-shirts are really nice too. They're made on. They're nice material. It's not like, oh, I put it on, it feels like paper mache. You know, it's not one of those t-shirts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Critical Misses. Listen to that. We are having a blast. We just started season 3 on the back end, which means I think season 2 is starting for patrons pretty soon. And season 1 is well underway on the public feed. If you want to get 2-month early access to that, I just scheduled an episode that's coming out in January of 2021 on the public feed. So if you want to get way out ahead of that, patreon.com/E1M1, just $5 a month, not per episode, just a month.
Oh, wait, so you scheduled something for January 2021, so was that the end of season 2?
The second to last episode of season 2.
Okay.
Yeah. It's way out there.
So we're starting, we're also going to start 2021 with a hot banger.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Totally.
Patreon.com/E1M1 to find out more.
Yep. We're going to be doing the wrap-up episode for the Sexy Brutale for Game Club here this upcoming Saturday. So that will be available on the 27th, 28th. Man, I think that's it. That's only about the first... We Roguelike It. You should listen to that. We're playing a brand new game that we are surprisingly enjoying. I likened it to someone throwing about 3 or 4 genres into a blender, and somehow what comes out is actually pretty tasty. So go listen to that. I think that's all the content we're making, all 12 episodes of it per week. Thank you very much for listening.
Forget about the pubcast. No.
Yeah, Picking Up the Pixels. Yep. PickingUpThePixels.com and talk about RPGs every month with Mina and Musim. Yep. And that's it. See you all next week. Bye.
It's been a while since you pimped Dynamic Soundtrack.
It's because that's because I haven't done any work on it.
Okay.
That's a lie. I have the majority of season 3 figured out. I just haven't started writing the script, which is the longest part of the season. Yeah.
So, Moon, what color did you get your shirt in?
Dude, black. Come on. It's me.
I got mine in green because that rainbow cloud was giving me a Lucky Charms vibe.
Honestly, I saw the green. I was so close.
I think the pink is really good. Yeah. As soon as it showed me like the pink, I was like, I have to offer that in the store. It's too good. Yeah, see you later, Jimbo Jangles. All right, Nimp, hit me with your titles.
All right, I have Dungeons and Dragons. Let's go. Snooty Dog is a Karen.
I just gotta write that down.
Big Yeetus. And finally, Too Strange to Advertise.
Oh, God. All right, Moon, how about you?
Okay, are you ready for the NSFW section of the show?
Oh, God.
Every day.
It's all drug references, double entendres, or various other things. Okay, so I quit MSF.
Okay.
Don't elaborate on that. Just I quit MSF. Make people wonder what it is.
Yep.
Karen all the way down. Another memo. Go to hell, big brain. Doing an MMO train. A Big Eatus. Pop-up pilgrim. And sword measuring contest.
Oh boy. I have Do the Stuff, Go to Hell, Big Brain, which I'm just going to put a check mark next to. Snooty Dog is a Karen, Big Yeetus, I Quit MSF, and Karen all the way down. I like Go to Hell, Big Brain, and I Quit MSF. Big Brain is probably my personal leader.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that. I mean, you can't use Big Eaters because technically it's a very specific reference for a very specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with big brain.
Yeah, I do like doing an MMO train, but I'm pretty sure that is probably a close enough to borderline to be a veto from Boston.
A little bit. Yeah. All right, let me know when you guys are ready.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm ready. I've got a triple joke. It's a joke at my own expense, it's a joke at the actual title, and it's a joke at being me.
I love it. It's got it all.
I think I got something.
That's right, I'm Billy Gunn.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 674 for September 21st, 2020. Go to hell, big brain.
Lobotomize me now!
This is why our education system sucks.
Show's canceled.
Yes.
I was trying to think, is that too political or no?
No. That's right in the sweet spot.
Dude, there's a reason why the Karens didn't get the title.
Yeah.
And if you're listening and your name is Karen, I'm sure you were a fine, upstanding person, but a lot of Karens are not.
Your name may be Karen, but you are not a Karen. That's the difference.
Yeah. The spirit is not a Karen. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching.
Right,
we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
No.
And we can stop recording.